Many organizations today boast massive stores of customer and transaction data. Yet, only a handful can say their products tangibly improve user experience by leveraging these assets. In this episode, I sit with Adekunle Kadri, a seasoned data and product leader who has steered teams through Africa's fast-growing data landscape and global enterprises alike. Adenkule's insights provide a lens into how orchestrating data assets, AI tools, and cross functional collaboration leads to products that genuinely matter. Enjoy this episode. Alrighty, so hello everyone, and welcome to the Tech Self Podcast, where we navigate today's tech wave, one electrifying conversation at a time. I am your host Raymond Klutse, and today I have with me Adekunle Kadri, who is here to talk to us about how AI is transforming the product landscape, leveraging the data that we collect on customers to be able to tell better data stories. Ade, thank you so much for making time today.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Great, great. All right, Ade. So, if you can, in the shortest amount of time, walk us through who is Ade, what have you been about in the last few years, and then we can get into the details of today's conversation. Yeah.
Thank you for having me. So my name is Adekunle Kadri. Just like our moderator said, I'm a product and data leader. That have done stuff, especially in the Nigeria market. From telecoms, one of the first employees. In smart communications, an internet service provider that evolved into a communication service provider. Then doing stuff at startups during COVID when we had the it and work in e-commerce and currently financial services. Those stuff at Axaman sad now in a commercial bank. I've done like great stuff like reducing churn rates at a very high level. When I say high level, I mean at an enterprise level. People there were stores like we did to like re-engineer our customers tick, and it's been great. Have a background in chemical engineering and also an MBA and project management. I have also done stuff around products, data, AI, building AI models, and just like solving problems generally. So I consider myself like a generalist,
Mm.
just like making things easy for
Mm.
customers. Yeah, thank you.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay, well, you went to the famous OAU. I mean, I'm not Nigerian, but I've heard, famous or great things about OAU. I do hear people talk. I don't know. Can you walk us through what was your life like on campus at OAU?
Yeah, so having like studying in OAU, so OAU is great. Just like you mentioned, um, it's one of the best thing that happened to me.
Mm.
Right? You look at like the top three schools in Nigeria. You have to you have to talk about OAU, right? So for me, the experience was like this, right? So I'm more like a generalist. I want to be in everywhere. I want
Mm.
to party. So low key studying out the next day,
All right.
right? Then the third day, I'm trying to like connect with my classmates.
Mm.
So it was difficult because my course was, I think I can say it anywhere. When you look at geology, which is like
Mm.
the most difficult, I don't care what the other courses were. They also talk about pharmacy. You're talking
Mm.
about chemical engineering. It's
Mm.
one of the hardest thing, and I'm not
Mm.
joking
All right.
yet.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the other like team because the life we lived was crazy. But then that's not the conversation of today.
All right.
So it was not friendly, but then it was just that moment where you're partying today, attending a birthday today, tomorrow you're studying
Mm.
because you know you are missing. Like there's something you have to cover.
All right.
So we're like very serious people. It
Mm.
was serious for me, and it's something I will never forget. Anyways, yeah.
Interesting, interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, so for the longest time, a typical software engineer, right, would just go through the entire, requirements gathering, all of that, and then they'll code. Just go straight into it, and then they'll be able to deliver something. But as time went on, we haven't, or we had a evolved, like the evolvement of, product became like, a role that people can aspire to. If you can talk to us about why product as a domain or as a role is important, and what does a product manager do essentially?
Okay, all right. Yeah, so I started products when YouTube was not mainstream,
Mm,
right? Back in 2014, just like more than 10 years ago, where there were really no boot camps where you can just like learn stuff. Then before you know it, you work on projects. Then you get a job, even if it's an analyst role or an intern, right? It was there where you needed to get your hands dirty.
right.
But then we were lucky to have like a lot of people that have done stuff, right? So for us then, what we cared about was solving problems,
Mm,
just solving problems and looking at how we can like generate revenue. So a
mm,
lot of the products were centered around growth,
mm,
right? So think about telecoms. We had the Etisalat, we had MTN, we had Airtel, right? But then Smile was just like a premium brand. And
mm,
I came in as like a product manager. Um, so product manager that just was leveraging on YouTube, and I had my line manager. So it was like, so the first assignment I had was to create a PRD. In my mind, I was what's a PRD, like product requirement documents. Do you understand? But I found out that it would tell you to talk about the problem, your outcomes, and maybe like success metrics. Then you have to like collaborate with maybe designers, the engineers, right? So it was just simple. Then we thought about we did more research, right? So what's MTN doing right? What are they not doing right? Can we leverage on them? So it was more of research for us. We're not as technical as people that now product managers are, but I was just looking at how to solve problems, customer problems,
right.
how to drive business value for the
Mm,
company,
right.
right? And we were really useful because like we were doing it well.
Mm,
We're more proactive. Um, we're just like gathering feedback on customers, looking at how to iterate and improve
mm,
what we offer. So it's just a very good tool for me. It's like your market, the users, and just their pain points and solve problems. That was just it for us thing.
nice, nice. So you study chemical engineering, and you could have easily gone into the chemical engineering phase, but then you become a product manager. I'm just curious, what were the transferable skills? What you say before like when YouTube was a thing, or like before boot camps and co became the order of the day, like what ignited your interest to abandon, I dare say, your engineering interest to go into a tech space and even dive into products. For the longest time when I thought about tech, it was just software engineering, right? But you seem to have gone into a space that was uncommon at the time. I don't know if you could walk us through your thought process from chemical engineering into becoming the product, or moving to a product space. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that question. Yeah, so I would just be as blunt as you want me to be. So
Mhm.
I think it was more of underemployment. You
Right,
know, if you can get to that.
right,
So
right.
I had like background in chemical engineering. My projects were around like petroleum,
Mm,
and all of those things. I remember interning with NNPC. I don't know if you know NNPC.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe you're Nigerian, but
yeah,
NNPC is just the entire thing. Do you get?
right.
I was there for like almost a year. I knew how upstream worked,
Mm,
downstream, midstream. I was there in the production where they produce oil. Do you get?
mm,
Military people were protecting us for like some moment. I was an intern anyway, but I was there. So that was like
right, right.
finish join, but then it didn't work out.
Mm,
So what are you going to do? Right. So I was like, okay, what can I do? Then I started applying to I remember my one of my girlfriend's sister was working in InterSwitch. I don't know if you
mm.
know InterSwitch.
Not familiar, but yeah.
So InterSwitch is quick teller. I'm sure you've heard quick teller before.
Yeah, yeah.
So InterSwitch is like the payments aggregator. They do a lot of like great things in payments. They're like the pioneers,
Right.
right? Send and receive money. and all of those things. So I remember she was a product manager, and I like, oh, I like this product management thing. What's it about? And I started reading, I started researching. Yeah, but then I found interest in that. But then I also remember that there were some transferable skills based on your question. So it was more around analytical thinking,
Mm,
right? I was analytics, I was a math guy,
mm,
right? I know how to design like processes.
mm.
If you think about chemical engineering, you think about systems,
Right.
think about inputs, you think about reactions, you think about
Mm,
outputs.
mm,
And product managers, they do like the same
mm,
people, features, and data. Do you get
mm.
to? It was just easy for me. And so that was just like the transferable skills I could remember.
Right.
So the project management side of things that helped. We also do a lot of documentation on chemical engineering, process maps, and all of those. So it kind of helped in writing PRDs and user stories.
Right.
Uh, so that was it for me.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about product management today. Our topic is centered around AI. AI came into the market with the hopes, and not just the hopes, it's actually, automating a lot of things. And it's almost as though AI is almost making a lot of professions that hitherto were seen to be very valuable, almost close to not being valuable. The idea of a software engineer is gradually becoming, a myth, because the levels of abstractions just keep increasing. First, we had, people, writing zeros and ones, that closed until we started having, low level languages, high level languages, and then we started having, things evolve, and now we have it literally English like languages to speak to computer to be able to churn out some, features altogether. And it now begs a question, like where are we going with, some domains, and with even PRDs and other stuff that you were talking about. Now you could easily just prompt and get a PRD. I'm just curious, from your standpoint, what have you seen happening in the AI landscape with respect to products? Yeah.
And thank you very much. So in today's age, this is what I tell my team.
Mm.
So AI is not like replacing product management.
No.
As a matter of fact, I don't know if I can talk about other feats, but it's not replacing. It's just
Mm.
like redefining.
Right.
Yeah. So the role is looking at, like, is evolving from maybe deciding what to build, like,
Mm.
to deciding how to build, like, intelligently.
Right.
Do you understand? So trust
Right.
me, when I read PRDs in, like, say, 7 years ago,
Mm.
bro, I'm going to use like a full week.
Right.
And I'm not kidding. Like,
Right.
get my grammar right, outside grammar, just like the flow, let it make sense to someone
Mm.
that will do it.
Right.
But then trust me, once I say, oh, I want to build this, just prompting, get my prompts right, the
Mm.
output will make sense. Like, in
Mm.
nanoseconds, I have a PRD that
Mm.
aligns with what I want. If it doesn't,
Mm.
I tweak it, then I
Right.
will. Do you get? So I think it's not replacing anything, it's just like redefining it.
Mm.
Do you get? So a lot of times we wanna, like, do stuff, but then it takes forever. So what he's doing is automating, like, repetitive work.
Mm.
You get? So it's just helping work as a whole. Do you
Mm.
get?
Right.
Helping work is making things easy for us. That's the way I see it.
Right.
Right. Not under pressure. I know,
Mm.
like, a lot of developers are scared what's happening.
Mm.
You just go on ChatGPT or any AI platform,
Right.
and just use the code, but it's just going to help you. I remember sometimes back in the day, my SQL queries, when they do run, I just, like, shut down my laptop
Right.
and sleep.
Right.
Like, I'm unhappy. But the
Right.
funny thing is, it's just a comma somewhere,
Mm.
an hyphen or a space.
Right.
But guess what? When I tell, like, AI to see what's the problem with this, it tells me that, oh, there's a space where there's not supposed to be space.
Mm.
There's supposed to be hyphen here, stuff like that. But then you correct it and move on. Do you get? So that's why I think it's just going to help our work at the end of
Mm,
the day. So I'm
mm,
not so worried from my point of view anyway.
That's great. I'm really glad you mentioned that because um yes, as much as there's some aspects of our work that we would like to offload. For example, no one wants to write test cases, right? And if we could have like AI writing our test cases for code or for code or whatever it is that we have done, that takes away a lot of time, like betting off us for us to do the actual thing. That's racking our brains, making sure that we are creating customer centric solutions and be able to brainstorm and all of that, which I believe AI is doing a superb job in the market, depending on how people know how to prompt, because that's the next thing now. Prompting is a skill altogether. It's not just speaking normal English, but knowing how to hit the model to get the information out there. Speaking about prompting and speaking about this whole AI space, and even more centered around product, how valuable is data in creating your day to day, or in doing your work, your day to day work as a product manager? Because I can imagine, first and foremost, the feedback that you get. I wonder, how do you verify that the feedback is of top quality? How do you prioritize that information? How do you seek out, or what's like a thought process that you, having worked in product for a long time, do you put out as a way to get data, and how valuable is that data to you, even if not just for the particular product you're working on, in the long term of understanding human behavior and be able to churn out products that solve your problems? Yeah.
Thank you very much, and I like that question. So for us, right? So let's just even use my present situation. I don't know if I can quote my present employer,
Yeah.
but what we know
Yeah.
is we're smarter than everyone. Trust me. In the last, I think I remember last year, right? We had one issue. We're supposed to be we're like the highest revenue generating like commercial bank. But then when it gets to profit, we're not like the first person. Do you get? So in your mind, you ask, what's happening?
Right.
Do you get? The other banks that are not even, in terms of revenue, we have like the person that was the most profitable commercial bank, we had three times their own revenue. So
Right.
in life that we have, we're like in terms of transactions, after JP Morgan, we're the next. Do you understand?
Right.
Trust me, we're not like baby big, we're like the highest level. But
Mhm.
why are we not getting that profit than this other company in Nigeria? It's because we have a lot of costs, we're buying new banks. You get, there are a lot of things going on that
Right.
in 5 years we're going to get there. So that's not like
Mhm.
the compensation. I'm just saying. So
Right.
what we just did this time around this year, and I can bet no one is coming close, is well, let's even look at our data, right? Instead of assumptions, we need clarity. That's the goal. There are a lot of things that CBN wanted us to do. We've met those targets like half year. But people are still struggling now. Yeah. Just like, okay, let's even look at our data. We need visibility. We need the insights. What's happening? Right? What are the performance? What's usage level? What
Mhm.
satisfaction? Do you get? That's like visibility. We want to see those three things. How
Right.
are we performing?
Right.
Where are the like strengths? How can we take advantage of this product line, this
Right.
business line? Do you get? So it was more like just data, right? So I got to a point when I was predicting churn this year. Like, it's not looking at churn. I'm predicting who are the people that are going to churn, and I'm being
Right.
after them. What
Right.
is so we're more data driven this year,
Right.
and just like doing business as usual. So that kind of helped us. In terms of customer satisfaction scores, we've seen improvement. In terms of data, we're now prioritizing projects. Normally somebody will just come with a project, you take it up. So we're connecting it with like benefits, outcomes. What are our plans for the year? We want to
Right.
do this. Does this project align with this goal? Oh, we're not going to do it. We're going to do it the next year. So those kind of things helped us. We're collaborating more, and we're also spending less. You get? And I do by end, yeah, all of us will smile when it's profit sharing time. Yeah, so that's it.
Nice, nice. Okay, so you've centered your strategy at the moment heavily on data. What kind of data do you collect? I'm assuming typical transactions and all, but yeah, what kind of data do you collect generally? Yeah.
Okay. All right. So for us, so there are a lot going on, and
Mm,
maybe they can be really be high level, but I'll just like break them down. So the
right.
kind of data we collect is we start with like interaction data.
Mm,
Yes, when I say interaction, we're looking at maybe even our contact center. Right.
right,
What kind of data do we even collect?
right.
So we collect inbound calls, people call
Mm,
out in our emails, our live chats,
mm,
our social media conversation. What happens there?
mm,
Right.
mm,
So when people try to reach us, what's our average outlet time?
mm,
In terms of queue, all of those basic data
mm,
informs everything.
mm,
I remember back in the day when there was Diamond back. There's one thing about Diamond back. When I chat them in nanoseconds, they responded. I'll
right.
not forget. Do you get? So what's the sentiment when people try
Mm,
to reach us? So
mm,
those were like kind of data that we looked at. So let me even talk about one thing that we fixed. So when we looked at this customer interaction data, we saw that like a lot of people, like our handling time was very high. There's something we call abandon rate. So
mm,
abandon rate is when you call me, for example, a
mm,
bank, and you're just on a queue. So a lot of people will drop off. The accumulation of the entire thing, maybe in a period, maybe a day is abandon rate. So we see that our abandon rate is very high. So that
mm,
means a lot of people are unhappy. Do you
right.
get? So we're starting from like the ground root. It's even not about transaction now.
Mm,
People are calling about complaint. They can't even reach you. So
mm,
guess what we did in that area? We built a model that can predict the volume of calls,
mm,
volume of emails, volume of live chats, volume of social media
mm,
that we'll get based on like past data. They will also kind of build model around like manpower so that when
right,
you call, you are going to reach us. Do you get? So
right.
we started with that. Then we also looked at like the profile data in terms of demography, what are the segments, what are the churn rates, in terms of loans, how can we cross-sell other products that we have? Do you get? So
Right.
we started seeing a lot of behaviors. We saw that like the older customers were not sticking. So how do we engage them? What were their complaints? A lot of campaigns abound, right? We also looked at feedback data,
Right.
right? We're big on surveys.
Mm,
And these surveys are not like so future, but then in terms of the Nigerian market, we
mm,
hear from them and we take advantage of their feedback.
mm,
Do you get? So
mm.
those are like the three things I can remember.
Okay, that's nice. All right, so let's go to like some challenges. People tend to think about careers and then they like the fanciness of, oh, I'm going to work in this place, going to work in that. But then it's nice and great and all until working in the role is a bit of a challenge. So walk us through what are some of the challenges that a typical product manager like yourself who also has a data focus background tends to face on a daily. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think for product managers, um so they kind of juggle between what the customer wants
Right.
and what the business needs.
Right.
Yeah. So customers want like, oh, good service, speed to delivery, just what they want. But then maybe that's not what like the business wants. So
Right.
it's always challenging to be in the middle. It just feels like, oh, you're so loyal to the customer, but then we're not making like profits off of this. Do you get?
Mm,
So it's always a challenge. Then there's also the fact that choosing between building like a new feature versus what the business wants, can they invest in this? They don't really like see the um long term effects on what you're trying to do. Do you
right.
get? Except maybe someone that has like a very strong product background.
Right.
There's also the challenge where approvals, maybe for new features,
Right.
takes a lot of time. So it's a challenging role. But
Mm,
trust me, it's worth it at the end of the day. If I'll do
mm.
this all over again,
Oh,
I'll come back to product.
that's
So,
nice.
so that's just it. Yeah.
Okay, so given that it's challenging, what do you think prepared you to be a better product manager, and how did you develop those skills, and how did you position yourself to succeed in your role? Yeah.
All right. So for me, one thing I have is curiosity. Trust me, I don't always have all the answer. Do you get? But I'm always curious. I like asking questions. I remember those top guys in Etisalat that joined us. I was always asking them, so how do I do this? How do I do that? So I'm always curious. It kind of drive me to understand not just what users do, but what they do, why they do it. Do
Right.
you get? Naturally, I remember when I was in Smile, I think this solution was out then. Otja. I don't know if you know Otja. Also, Otja is like an analytical solution that can help you
Mm,
like show behaviors of your customers in a funnel. So maybe how they transact on the app or like a website. Do you get when they break and all of those things? So
right.
we didn't have those solutions. We didn't have Microsoft. We didn't have access to Microsoft Clarity. But then, because of curiosity and just to like make myself stand out, I go out of the way to say, okay, this is what I see. A lot of people are dropping off when they want to like make bill payments for power. When they want to buy power, it fails. Do you get?
Right.
So I'm proactive. I'm telling them that this is what is happening. Oh, a lot of people, Kunle, how do you see? Yeah, this is what I see. I connected to this particular whatever. Then he helps. So what drives me is more of the curiosity and more of, and I have empathy. Do you get?
Mm,
I'm just this guy that believes that once your customers is happy, your
mm,
business will thrive because
right.
they'll push. They're like word of mouth
Yeah.
pushers. They push
They
those
become your
things.
evangelist. Yeah.
Yeah, they're evangelists. That was the word. Do you
Mm,
get when they're happy? So
mm.
that just be great. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Okay, so walk me through your day to day as a product manager, and also and also the head of like your data team, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
Walk me through your day to day, what it is like, and then also walk me through how you are gradually, or if you haven't already, adopted AI in your day to day work while still maintaining the confidentiality and the sensitive data that you handle at work.
All right. So my topical day is just maybe a lot of stand-ups,
Mm,
right? We're synchronizing on maybe problems that customers are having. Their current sprints. We're building like a VOC platform now,
mm,
voice of customer. So what this is automation, right? Instead of manually pushing out surveys, it should happen by transaction.
mm,
You make bill payments, you transfer out. And there's a
mm,
script that is sending a command to our database to say, send the surveys is here. We just want everything to be automated. There's an AI agent doing all those jobs.
all right,
So we're going a lot of projects, also CRM, enhancement, all of
all right,
so
all right.
so basically we're just like doing daily stands up, reviewing some of our dashboards, right? But then for AI, we're not so there's a trend, right?
Mm,
AI this, AI that. But then what we're trying to do in our team is we're looking at a proper use case
mm,
that okay, AI can actually deliver this value. It's not about oh we can use is AI to do it. No. All right, we'll speed up this. Okay, let's use AI.
all right,
So that's we're not big on oh it's trendy, oh let's build an AI agent. No. It's just like, okay, this is going to make this fast.
all
Okay,
right.
credit scoring. AI can actually score this person based on their transactions. This
Mm,
person is a bad, is a potential bad like credit lender or something.
mm,
So that's what we're not so big on. Oh, AI. We're just looking at this strategy guys to say, how does AI help us to get one online following trends?
all
Yeah.
right. Okay. So as one who has also experience with data, what do you think makes a good data storyteller? and how does that translate into the features that eventually become product features in the products that you develop? So what is very good data storytelling, and how does that, affect the product that is eventually made? Maybe you can walk us through your process of when you think about data storytelling. How do you approach it? Yeah.
All right, so thank you for that. So I remember on my team, in the I think throughout H1, I've been doing more of data storytelling because one thing we do on our team is when we like gather feedback, because across like different hubs, we have like plans or survey plans.
Right.
Right, we hear from customers, we get their feedback, we analyze them, right? Then we do like business conversations. We talk to people in POS, agency banking, people in USSD, people in CBD. A lot of people were always doing those engagements.
Right.
But then I saw that my team were like not so lean, but the more of like entry level. Do you get? So I've been preaching like storytelling, because
Mm.
storytelling doesn't just narrate. I think it connects the dots
Mm.
between data, users, and the value. Right. The best product managers can take like a complex data set and turn it into a narrative
Mm.
that will inspire actions. So some of the things that we do for storytelling, because we want actions. So we're not just presenting for the sake of understanding what we need. We're just letting you know that our customers aren't just dropping off. They are frustrated by maybe like hidden fees that only see at their last step. Do you get stuff like that? So we're more clear. We're trying to like develop emotional connections. We're not just presenting like reports. We let them know that every story answers why this, why now, why does it matter? Do you get? So the impact has been great on products like development, because we identify the pain, we narrate the why, we use data to support like stories and all. So it's great for us. It's great. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, Ade, in terms of, when it comes to data, so you are collecting data on people, and I know most of the time this data can be quite interesting and maybe PII. How do you navigate privacy, ethics, and transparency of customer data while still be able to extract the information you need to be able to create products that align with your feature goals as a product manager? Yeah.
All right then. That's a good one. I always look forward to that in any of my conversations. So in this part of like the world, um we may not be there in terms of like GDPR compliance and all of that,
Right.
but then um we're navigating privacy, right? What we just do is we basically collect only necessary data.
Mm.
So situations where maybe we're even running like a survey, right? We already have your account number. We don't have to ask. You
Right.
get? So anything that is not related, and also our marketing team, they're very big on whatever that is important to collect, so that at the end of the day, it's financial services.
Right.
Anyone can pretend like you to collect this data. So
Mhm.
from time to time, we're always like engaging our customers to let them know that we're not going to ask you for these details. We're not going to ask for your PIN. We're not going to ask for your card details. We will never. Do you understand?
Right.
So that's one part that I remember. Then also we anonymize data when necessary. So what I mean here is sometimes we remove like maybe phone numbers, we remove their names. We just like we tokenize whatever we
Right.
do, right? And we also just make sure that we comply with, well, NDPR. I don't know if I pronounce it well. There's a Nigerian data protection regulation stuff
Mm.
that is going on. They check us from time to time. And we also try to align with maybe GDPR also,
Right.
right? So I think that's what we do
Mm.
with data. And we also like give our customers opportunity to opt out of any maybe cookies,
Mm.
marketing,
Mm.
communications, and stuff like that. So I think we're trying, especially from our point of view. I don't know other companies, but we're
Mhm.
very big. Um, when you collect data, you tell them why you are collecting this data.
Okay. So let's talk about impact. All right. Most of the time, when you create a product, you want to be able to see, okay, like how you said like earlier that you were able to predict churn and all of that. How have you seen the impact of just a small change of a button from one place to the other, or an alignment from one thing to the other? What are some of the impact that you have really seen as a product manager in your work, and how has it been as a result of some data that you had, either in the form of surveys or your own research of how the product has been faring before you made that change? Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. So, I don't want to like mention where I work and how, do you
Mm.
get? But you and I know where. So 2 years ago when I joined,
Right.
right, and it's not even a one man. You can't fix everything. You can only try.
Right.
So I remember my line manager who is leaving in 2 months,
Mm.
right? She's like the best person. She's French, and I think she used to be in the UK
Mm.
before she joined us, but
Mm.
then she had to just move because of some family stuffs.
Right.
Do you get? So she's like one of the best. She's even like the best. There's nobody that will work with this person that would get an offer.
Mm.
Like she didn't have shrinkage in terms of people leaving. So she's a people, she's a product, she's a
Mm.
customer person. So that knowledge combined with some where some of us had, things are better now, at least from when I joined. I think when I joined, it was more like getting complaints every day. There's a bug on your product for corporates. There's a bug on the app. There is always one issue,
Mm.
right? But then I think the team looked at maybe the core issues instead, because initially they just treat the issues. But then this was what we did. We looked at, instead of just treating issues, we are just treating the symptoms. Let's look at the root cause. What is even causing this thing?
Mm. Mm.
Like every week, there's always an issue on a Friday. Why do we have issues? Is it because we are relying so much on these legacy systems? So I think we had an upgrade on our core business applications, right? So that kind of helped, right? So in terms of from a product point of view, um, our products were able to function as they should. The
Mm.
features and all, right? And from what I see in today's, some of the targets at CBN are set. Some of the internal targets like churn has reduced by 10%. I think some of the targets that were set for us
Mm.
in the year by CBN
Right.
internally also, in
Right.
terms of capitalization and all of those financial metrics, we've met them. So it's been a great year. So but what we just do from product side of view is we we take complaints. We don't take it. We close the loop of our complaints,
Right.
right? So when we get those feedback, we look at the frequency. We plan based on like impacts on our revenue, right? Then we try to fix and not fixing the symptom, just treating. Look at the root cause, find the
Mm.
lasting solutions, and we also look at quick wins also,
Right.
right? Quick wins that can at least give us impacts our bottom lines. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Well, we know AI is essentially coming to stay. It's not going anywhere. What are some of the things that you are doing as a product manager to future proof your career in this AI landscape? And how do you think companies can, it's two questions in one. How can product managers future proof their skills ahead of this, AI wave, or this AI wave that is currently all over the place? And how can companies as well, product centered companies, ride that wave and not get drowned? Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. And I like the question. So we all know AI is yeah, it's taking over. I'm sure even my kids knows that there's something called AI.
I know it was so interesting. Like even our old parents talk about AI, and I'm like, wow.
It's too much. At a point
Yeah.
in time, you'll be like, what's really happening?
Mm,
But then I like the question. It's a forward-looking question. So for me, this is how I respond. Um, I it took a while because I thought it was just a buzzword.
right.
Do you get? But then at the point I had to acknowledge the shift.
Mm,
It's not just a trend, it's redefining how we collect data, how we analyze it. Right. It's just changing the core of like customer experience.
mm,
Right. So what I do personally is just continuous learning, right? But then very strategic. A lot of times people think AI will solve all the problems,
right.
but then we have to always do deep thinking to see that is it actually solving a problem? Is it shortening? So when you're like thinking about AI models, you are thinking of, oh, will it help fasten something? Do you
Mm,
get? Will it improve customer experience? So it's not around, oh, I can use AI to generate like a resume. Not like it's not good, but I'm just like thinking,
right.
right? So that's how we see AI from our own point of view, just to build something that will really impacts delivery, speed of delivery. All right. So from my own point of view, I also upskill, right? Continuous learning. This week, I'm with some Indians trying to catch up on RAG, prompt engineering,
Mm,
how data architecture is, just to understand how AI models work
mm,
behind the scenes, tokenization.
mm,
Sometimes I also try to integrate it in my like daily work, right? I put a task to my team. They always manually classify complaints, and I'm like, we can always build something, right? It just classifies based on comments.
mm,
So that's what they are dealing with now. I'm sure there will be success. So once they have these complaints, thousands of them, there's just a sentiment classification that will just say, oh, this failed transaction, this it just picks it for you. Then you do the second work. So that's the kind of way I see AI, and I'm still exploring, I'm still catching up, I'm still building agents, AI agents. I'm still
mm,
like doing a lot of things, but it's something that I adore because it's really making work
right.
better,
Mm,
improving work.
mm,
In 5 years ago, when we were at PRD, we were at PRDs for like 2 weeks,
mm,
a week or thereabouts.
mm,
In nanoseconds with the
mm,
right prompts, Claude will give me something, Grok will give me something. You
mm,
get? So
right.
it's been better for us. And
No.
there's also one part of responsible AI that I want to talk about.
Go for it.
So I think a lot of times, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how ChatGPT collect their data, right? But I'm certain of how Cloud does it,
Mm,
right? They're very compliant with data protection regulations. They tie back all of what they pick into, like they look at privacy, they look at fairness. They're not just like picking all data, and when you use it to even write codes, it's really, really perfect,
mm,
right? If it's not close, but it's very, in terms of generating codes, SQL codes and all,
mm,
I think Claude does the work for me. Thanks.
mm. All right. That's great. We're about to conclude, and you've been a leader in this space for a while. You've led teams and the rest. I want you to share your most redefining experience as a leader, possibly some of the mistakes you made, and some things that you wish you could change as a leader or as a product manager as a whole. So it's two questions in one again. What has been like the most redefining experience you've had as a leader? Some of the mistakes and the highs and the lows you had, then as well as um what would you do differently as a leader and also as a product manager, as a way to encourage someone who is probably standing in your shoes or yet to even step into similar shoes that you're currently in. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. So I think for maybe the first part, at least what I remember is, so I think it's usually in the start of my career, I kind of maybe isolated myself. Like I'm not more of a team player, right? Maybe because I feel I can do so many things at the same time. I'm not able to like influence while I lead teams, but I'm not completely influencing everyone.
Right.
Maybe I'm just influencing like the top people within the team. This guy is smart, but then I leave the other people. I'm not picking them up. Do you get? But as a leader, you need to just like my boss would say, the weakest link is as better as a strong link. When there's a weak link on your team, is not as good as you guys are not like great. Do you get?
Mm,
So that's one thing I've been working on, and I think in my current place of work, it's been better. I even have like a section. Is it tomorrow? Okay, on Thursday, like a catching, not just like a catching up section with like two members on my team that I feel that they're not like connected to the vision and all. Like it's not like they're not doing their job, but they're not taking ownership. They're not like just doing what I would expect them to do.
mm,
Right. So I think that's just it. So one of the most defining moments that I would say is when I joined this current organization, I noticed that a lot of our datas were like fragmented, like they were in silos, very disconnected. You look at our contact center, for example. Um, Myself and the boss, we don't have an overview of what is happening,
right.
right? There's an IVR system. There's a queue when they try to call you. We can't even see. Okay, what are the abandoned rates? From a business. Okay, oh, I think our abandon rate has increased. Maybe we don't have a lot of manpower. That's
Mm,
why these calls are dropping. Do you get? So one thing that was really done was just to unify the data, right? Across all the touch points, CRM systems, voice systems, email, live chats, social media, just house them in one place to say the most important metric that will make sense for a C level and above. Let's put them there. So it's one thing that we really did well. And I think we got our fair share of it. It was a lot of work connecting SQL queries to a database. Sometimes you need to download an ODB. So it was just a lot of work, right? But then it was done and it's something that I am proud of. Yeah, thanks.
that's great. Well, Ade, thank you so much. Thank you for being or championing Black excellence and being a leader and a thought leader, as well as also encouraging people to think differently, especially product managers or product centric people to think differently in the AI space. I don't know if you have any final words that you would like to share before we officially conclude.
Yeah, so my final word is not like an interview where I have to ask you questions
Mm.
because you're more like the moderator and
Right.
yeah, so I appreciate the opportunity um to contribute, even though we had some issues, but I
Yeah,
learned.
for those listening, we've had to record this half fast later. But I think that's the beauty of it. Ade has been very, communicative, and it's nice to, work with people who understand the vision of, championing tech conversations. So yes, I've really enjoyed myself as well, Ade. Yeah.
Yeah, same here, same here. And I hope we get to catch up on other projects, other initiatives.
Definitely, definitely. We'll definitely stay in touch.
All
Thank you
right,
so
then. Well
much.
done. Well done. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
There is no shortage of data in today's digital landscape, but value emerges from how product leaders like Adekunle translate it into stories and features that customers actually feel. As AI tools continue to reshape the art and science of road mapping, the most successful teams will be those who bridge insight and empathy, making every asset count for users at every turn. Listen, adapt, and let your data tell a story that the market cannot ignore. Thank you for listening to today's episode of the TechServe podcast. See you in the next episode.